I think we shall leave the woman and come to another question.
Come to another question.
Now, many people mention that Buddhism is a very pessimistic religion. From the doctrinal aspects, they argue that Buddhism preach things like suffering, impermanence, egolessness, voidness. Such things are seen to be pessimistic. And from the practical aspects, they say Buddhists are not very energetic in their missionary work, which we have mentioned just now. Or Buddhists are spending too much of their time under the tree, doing nothing but closing their eyes and cross-legged. So what is your response to this? Buddhism, is it a very pessimistic religion?
Actually, Buddhism is not pessimistic but realistic. Since the Buddha has revealed the truth, fact and reality in our life, some people say Buddhism is a pessimistic religion. The Buddha did not use sugar-coated words just to please us. He wanted to show the real picture, actually what our life is and what we are doing here and what will happen to us, very clearly explained. He never stopped his preaching, his Dhamma, simply by saying, oh, the life is full of birth is suffering, death is suffering, sicknesses create suffering, old age creates suffering, this is suffering, that is suffering. He did not stop his preaching in that. He also preached how to stop all these suffering, how to avoid all these suffering. And the method taught by the Buddha for us to keep away or to avoid, to stop all these suffering is called dharma. Then we gain confidence, we gain understanding. After that, that negative aspect disappear from the mind, then we gain confidence. Then we come to understand what this life is, how to make use of this, or what to do with this life, we can understand without creating imagination about our life. Therefore, definitely it is not a pessimistic religion. Anything else?
When you practice letting go of states of mind that pull you down, anger, jealousy, frustration, sadness, when you practice letting those go, when you finally let those states of mind go, you experience very strong joy and happiness and peace of mind. And you're talking about being a missionary. If you want to be a missionary by example. You practice developing your mind so that you can experience this joy and this happiness, and people will come to you and want some of that. And they will look you up. You don't have to go out looking for them to try to convert them to one thing or another. They will come to you and say, you look happy and I want some of that. So sitting under a tree is a very useful thing. Learning how to develop your mind so that you can experience joy and happiness is what the Buddha was talking about when he said, we are the happy ones. We're happy when we help other people. We're happy when we keep our precepts. We're happy when we let go of unwholesome mental states. That's the best way to be a missionary, by example.
Venerable Sir, would you like to add to that?
Yes. You know, those who are familiar with Buddhist texts would not say that Buddhism is pessimism. In Buddhist texts, we always find there's a one whole section, a chapter in the Dhammapada that is called Sukhavagga, the chapter of happiness. In that chapter, Buddha says, let us live happily among those who are miserable. Let us live happily among those who are sick. Let us live happily among those who are full of tension, worries, anxieties, fears. Let us live happily with those who are suffering from pain, suffering. Let us live happily without greed, without hatred, without confusion. Who else can become happy? And Buddha's teaching has only one taste, taste of peace, taste of joy, taste of happiness. Whereas when you go to a Buddhist temple, what do you see in the shrine room? A smiling Buddha.
Laughing Buddha.
Laughing Buddha also we can see. You know, Nehru, Indian first Prime Minister, whenever he was disappointed, depressed, full of tensions, worries, he went to his office where there was a beautiful smiling Buddha. He sat in front of that image and focused his mind on this beautiful smiling face of the Buddha, and he got inspiration from that Buddha. You get inspiration when you see the Buddha statue. You get inspiration when you see Buddhist monks. They are smiling, laughing. They always are very relaxed. And therefore, I don't see in my own life, in my own association with the Dhamma and the Buddhist teaching, I never see any pessimism in it.
Is it not selfishness for us to live happily while others are suffering?